Hello, it's Susan from Seaside Stitches, and last week I just kind of lost my way with technology. I got all in a mix and a muddle, and I did the video that should be this video, and I just couldn't remember what I was saying. I didn't know why I was doing it. I was getting all mixed up. And so I did quite a few takes just in the one video, and then I just had lots of technological problems. I like saying that word now because I said it in my first video. I'm getting all technological. So yes, technology is not my best point, and it's lovely to be back and to be wearing this Freya top. And part of what I was talking about and wanted to talk about in this video is the Harper cardigan. And I've taken quite a few photos. There are some little clips of me making it, which I'll include. I'm not going into great depth about it. I found it really quite simple to do, although I was up for the challenge, and it felt like an achievement of meeting the challenge when I did everything. There were just two little things that gave me problems. Well, the thing that gave me problems were the cuffs. I've never done cuffs before, and just to be able to see all the fabric and get the I'll just do it with this. I've got it here. I'm not going to put it on again today. I've had the heating on and I'm absolutely roasting, so I've turned it off, but I'm not cooling down. So the cuff, we have this. I said I'm not putting it on. I'll just put my arm through. So the cuff and the sleeve, I did a 16 sleeve, although I'd aimed to cut out a 12. I'd drawn the 12 on the pattern, on the PDF to cut out, and then I just got nervous about it. I'd rather do something that's too big and then take it in, rather than it being too small and it's ruined. So I ended up doing a 14, most of it, but I do have bicep issues, not because I've been to the gym, but because I've got bingo wings. So I made sure I had quite a wide sleeve, so I did a 16. I graded up to a 16, and I wondered if it may be difficult in fitting it to the 14 back and front bodice, but it was no different, no problem. And the only issue was that then I was grading a 16 sleeve into a 14 cuff, but I made it more difficult for myself because I tightened the cuff. I didn't want it too loose, and because it's stretch, I can still do that and check my watch, and it goes back into shape. But I didn't want it too loose. I wouldn't be keen on that. So it was just getting all this fabric inside the sleeve, and with all the pins it just felt like I'm not going to manage this. And one of the reasons I stopped sewing before was because I fell and I broke my hand. So I was walking up a gravel drive. I'd got a big envelope in my hand and my car keys, and I slipped. I slipped on the gravel and I went straight down, and planted my fist onto the floor, but with one finger out because I was still holding the keys. It was just all, ugh. It could have been a lot worse, and it just meant I broke 3 fingers. And when the consultant manipulated it under anaesthetic, they couldn't get it straight enough. They couldn't get the angle right, so my fingers are, you can hardly see really, I suppose, but they're 15 degrees out on the 3 fingers. So it meant that for quite a long time it's been difficult physio-wise. I've worked on it really well, and I've done amazing from how it was. I can't get that level of grip. I can get that, but these won't curl under. So there's lots of things I can't do, but I was wondering if I would have had the ability to manipulate as well as I would have liked to. And I did manage it, and there is some footage of that. It was just a bit daunting, the idea of it, I think, rather than the doing of it. Once I'd done it, like I said, there was a sense of achievement that I'd managed it. I'd mentioned that I'd been inspired to do the Harper by Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door, but I'd also watched a sew along with, I think she's called Susie, at Thread Quarters, and she had done it as a nap time sew along. So while her son was having his nap in the afternoon, or whenever I suppose, but while he was having the nap, she did a few sew alongs, and she did the Blackwood cardigan, which is very similar. I could see it was very similar. I can't remember who makes the Blackwood pattern. But she did the whole thing on the overlocker. Well, I'm not at all brave enough to do that. I've only had my overlocker for a few weeks, and although I bought a book, which I would definitely recommend, I haven't worked through it all yet, and there are patterns in here for t-shirts and things that you can do a full garment on the overlocker, which I've not got round to, but that kind of links me to what I was saying about I'm wearing my Freya top. So I've done the Freya sweater from the Tilly and the Buttons, and in the back of there are some patterns, and for all the makes that she's got in there, and you can either do them on an overlocker or on your ordinary machine and finish them on the overlocker, or just finish them with an overcast stitch, overcasting stitch from your machine. So I'll go into that in a minute, but when I watched Susie, I think it is Susie, on Thread Quarters, that gave me quite a lot of confidence. But when she did the cuff, she did it on the overlocker, and I was thinking, how on earth has she done this with all these layers and pins and doing it in a circle? Oh, so I was a bit daunted, but I'm really pleased I did it, and it just has come out really well. I'm very pleased with the cuffs and the band, and the band down the middle, the front band. The one thing I'd say is I should have made a 12. It is quite, although maybe grade the 12 into a 14 at the hips, but and possibly just make sure there is a bit more waist shaping, because it is a bit, I actually really like it. I like the feel of it. I like the length of it. I did the long one. I'm very pleased with it. It feels, I'm a 70s girl. I was born in the 50s, but I'm a 70s girl. So for me, a long cardigan down, almost down to your knees with your boots on, it's really quite, I like it. And yeah, so, but I would do, oh, so I did, sorry. I did feel like I really like it. When every time I tried it on, it felt good. I've taken some photos of it. We did a little photo shoot last week, and I just really enjoyed that. It was ridiculous, but I did enjoy it. And I think that's why I was more disappointed when I did the video afterwards, on a kind of high from that I just couldn't get it right. And I just, it's like, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I telling you this? Yes, but when I sat down to do the video, I wore it. And I could see then it was quite big, a bit bulky, and didn't feel like it looked like me at all. Although I was bothered about the colour on it. I mentioned that in, I think, video 2 that I did, that this wasn't the colour I'd expected. I'd expected a more royal like that side. And I was a bit, I was quite disappointed in it. But actually, it's quite vibrant. It's much more vibrant than I thought for me. So, and the other issue was I didn't plan to put pockets on. I didn't cut them out. I didn't cut out the pattern for them. I didn't cut them out. And then afterwards, or later that day, I was wearing a different an outfit where I have just a short sleeve cardigan with long cardigan with pockets, and I thought I really like these. They are quite handy when I thought about it. So I did cut out the pockets, and I did cut out the band, and I made them up to a degree. I overlocked them, and then I turned, and you overlock the sides and everything, and then I did a practice kind of turning them over and ironing them. I wasn't really happy with that. So I did a test kind of top stitch on them. I went a bit wonky on one side, so I've undone that to redo them. And I was pleased with the way I'd matched it to where it was going, but you'll have to take my word again for that. But I don't think they're big enough. For me, that I've got a really big hand, and although they're not necessarily a pocket to have massive things in, proportionally I don't feel like they're big enough. So I think I'm going to cut out another 2. I've got spare material because I'd got 2 meters of this, because I thought it was royal blue and I was going to do something else with it, but to make sure I had enough. So yeah, it's really quite long. It's got the band at the bottom, it's got the band down the side. There was a mistake I made in just correcting this join at the bottom. One side was out. I don't know if it was this side or the other, but I'd already overlocked it when I really noticed that I didn't like it. So I unpicked that bit of overlocking. I got it right as far as I could. I rejoined it together. I sewed it on the machine, and then I did a back tack, a bar tack, which it suggests you do just to hold it. You don't need to do a full top stitch all over it. You can do if you want to hold that seam in and top stitch over it. That. If you want to top stitch over it on this side of the band, you can do. But I chose not to do that. Andrea said she didn't bother doing it and it had held fine. So I just did the bar tack at the bottom. And then for some reason I decided I would overlock that bit again, and it went all strange because I didn't have enough extra here. So I did what I call faffed about with it really for quite a while. And then I think it must be this side, yes. So I actually did redo it after that, And obviously that's just come off at the end because I've excuse me, I've just, there it is, just got an itch. You know when, it's like when you put your mask on, your COVID mask, your face covering, because it's not necessarily a mask, you just get an itch, don't you? Anyway, so yes, so I need to sort this out again, because I didn't get back to sorting that bit. I just was sorting that bit. So in the end, what I've done is top stitched just that bit to there, just for my own kind of sense of, that's just a better way of doing it for me. And then I'll tidy this up. But otherwise, I am really pleased with my achievement of it. It's quite exciting. These challenges. Anyway, thank you for listening to that. I'm also just going to chat about this because part of what I'd said in my last video that you didn't see and you won't see because it won't transfer anywhere. I think I may have done it on high definition. I've done something with it anyway. It's lost. Yes. So part of what I was saying was I didn't necessarily want to be doing more garments at the moment because I've got, as my grandma would say, I've enough clothes in that wardrobe to see me out. There is nothing really that I'm desperate for, so I'm being more careful about what I choose and what I choose to make. I don't want to just make lots of things one after another just because either I can or I feel like I should, or I've got excited about, oh well, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to do that now. So I've just really looked at gaps in my wardrobe and also just trying to be sensible about the planet, energy, reusing things and fast fashion and not falling into the trap of this becoming a kind of fast fashion thing as well by using lots of fabrics and yeah, I don't want to fall into the kind of addictive bit. So anyway, I had been, having got this book, that's why I'm mentioning it today, having got this book as part of my journey, bounced the mic, the camera, I decided that I would do some of these from the patterns that are in the back. There's no extra expense then, is there? And I'd managed to get some cotton kind of t-shirt fabrics from Abercan quite a few weeks ago, and I got quite a different selection because they were buying by weight and they were just a bargain. And there was this one that I was drawn to because it feels so soft. Absolutely, really, really soft. Now my grandson is absolutely vehicle mad. And although we're doing the, there are no separate colours for gender. There are no specific gender colours. It is a little bit peachy. And I'm sure he'd love a pair of pyjamas in it. He wouldn't mind at all. But I just love the material. And I did think if we're going on the, no, all genders can wear any kind of shade, any colour, any pattern, anything they want. Girls can wear anything with cars on, which of course they can. So I did thought I'd challenge my son on that and make him some pyjamas in it, but I'm only kidding. Anyway, so what I did was I bought some of this, which is very, very stretchy. This is not very stretchy. And I thought I will make some t-shirts with it because I've never put a neckband on. I'd never done this either, that I can remember. Anyway, I have made a neck like this because I did, for my wedding dress I had a high neck, but obviously it wasn't all in a circle, it wasn't in a tube because I had a zip in the back. So I'd never put a neckband on in the round, so to speak, like the cuff. I'd never done it. I keep saying cuff like I'm posh, not cuff. Anyway, so I bought quite a few pieces without really, apart from this one. This one was that jumped out of the basket. These are my colours, and I was, whatever I can make with that, I want to make it. So I did get this one, and there's quite a few meters, 2 or 3 meters of it. So I am going to make another one, a lower neck one. When I made this Freya top, it wouldn't go over my head. I have a rather large head, and so anyway, I'm blabbing on and on. So what I'm going to do is make a t-shirt out of this for myself. It may end up as nightwear, and it may not, actually. But it's so soft, really, really soft. And I've made this one. And the reason I decided to start on this one, I was feeling a bit fed up because I kind of lost my way. Getting involved in doing the videos was just a positive thing, and a happy kind of happy-go-lucky sew-alongy thing. And it became a tense thing last week when I couldn't get the other one to... I just couldn't sort it out. I couldn't retrieve it, really. And I wasn't happy about the doing of it either. And I thought, well, then why am I doing it? What is my purpose? Is it about, do I have to sew and tell everyone I'm sewing? What is it for? And I thought, while I'm doing that, and because I hit the ground running and I did kind of 4 in a row, without knowing anything about editing or lighting or filming or anything, I spent quite a long time, quite a lot of hours, working out how to do that. And I'm very pleased with myself with that as well. There's only one that I've actually edited, which is the first one, which was nearly 6 minutes long. That's all I've edited. But having watched a video on YouTube, not Think Media. Anyway, never mind. On iMovie, and where he lists every little task that you do and at what time scale that's on. Yeah. Anyway, I think you'll know what I mean, or you won't, and it doesn't matter. You could go back and check which bits you were happy with and not happy with, and where you could find that on his video and explain. And so I spent one day playing about editing the movie, and I was really quite pleased with myself. I just keep saying that, don't I? Like, who is this woman who keeps being pleased with herself? Well, it's new to me and I like it. Yes. So I'm quite excited today now. Now I've started this. This gives me a lot of pleasure. The brightness of these colours. And so I'd watched again, I'm going again, I think it's Susie at the Thread Quarters. No, I'm getting mixed up. Loopy Mabel's Closet. I think she's Jane, but I'm not dead sure. And she was doing a sew-along for one of these. And I thought, right, I've spent some days editing and worrying and thinking and trying to do things that weren't part of my remit, really, my own remit to myself. It was just about fun. And if it's not going to be fun, why am I doing it? So take the pressure off yourself, and if you want to, what would make you happy? So I, in seeing her sew along, I thought that might inspire me to... The main thing that I was not doing with this was printing it out. No, this is already printed out, but they are over the top of others. So I'm sorry I'm crackling this. So what you definitely need to do is trace it. Or you can just... I can't think of the word. Anyway, do one and just risk losing the other one that it's on the back of. But I had already sent for some of that Swedish tracing paper. When I was thinking of this the other day, I thought, oh, it's that Australian tracing paper. No, it's Swedish tracing paper. And although this is going to rustle, this is it. And comes in quite a long roll. I got it from Pattern and Trace, or Pattern Trace, I think it's called. It's stronger than tissue paper, and it's longer lasting. And that's the only thing with you doing it on tracing paper, that you end up like you do with your ordinary patterns. You end up ripping bits off, but it is quite tough. And so, having watched her set up and be ready to do it, I thought, I will go and trace that pattern now. Then I'm ready. When she does the sew along, if I feel up to it, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't. And that's what I did. So I traced it. And fortunately, I can't remember the patterns now, I think. I come out around a size 7 on Tilly's measurement, on Tilly's patterns. 6 to 7, 6 or 7. And so I did the 7 to be on the safe side. But really, I made it up, and then I tried it on, and the bust measurement was really good, but it was a bit baggy under here. And so I unpicked everything apart from the neck. You do the neck first, which I'm glad about really, because if I hadn't been able to do it, I'd have been stuck. So I sewn it all together, and I unpicked the whole thing, and then I retraced this pattern to the 6 on some of it, and then on the pieces that I'd created by taking it apart, I changed the size of it. So it's more a 6 graded to a 7. But I left the sleeves. Now you only need to do 1/4 of an inch. No, you don't. It's a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. But I was only doing 1/4 of an inch on the sleeve, because as I say, I need to leave plenty. And this material doesn't stretch as much as I thought it did. And so that's when I said I had a little trouble keep pulling it on and off my head. And I was going to take that apart as well, but anyway, I've managed to stretch it, but maybe overstretch it, so I can have it as this is the mock neck, so it's a mock polo neck really. You can do a polo neck, you can do a lower neckline where there's a cowl for it, and I suppose you could just do it lower. I think Jane at Loopy Mabel's closet, she'd made a mistake on one, and she cut it to the wrong one, and so she put a band on a lower one. The one she did this top, this neckline, and it was really inspiring, and I'm really grateful to her. I'm grateful to anyone who takes the time to share their knowledge. It's brilliant. I love it. Anyway, I think I've gone on far too long, but I will just talk about these. So then I also went on Stitch Sisters. I love them too. Wonderful people. I probably won't be able to do this now. This is Loopy Mabel's closet. She's also done these. So this is, I don't know how long. Anyway, you just make it as one band. It's I don't know. Never mind. Yes. And so you twist it twice, and then you put that over there, and then you've got your turban band. It's quite cute. And so the two Stitch Sisters, showed us how to do that. I think it's about 2 years ago, theirs. And then they do the knot one, where you just make a band, you do that, you twist, anyway, no, I'm not doing that one. So, this one, you just tie in a double knot, and it comes out looking a bit like a bow, or not, depending on whether you're filming or not. And I love them because they're a bit crazy. And they're brilliant for lockdown hair. Right, I'll finish there. Thank you for listening. If you, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button if you have liked the video. And I'd like to see you again sometime soon. Thank you very much. I'm Susan at Seaside Stitches. Thank you. Bye.